In the middle of Karl Johan, Oslo's main street, lies the structure that houses the Norwegian Parliament, the Storting. It's here that the Storting carries out its three most important duties: making laws, passing the budget, and scrutinizing the government. It's here that the parameters of the nation are set. Once a year, at the start of October, the same ritual unfolds: the state opening of the Storting, as it has done almost every year since 1866. Yet the fact that the Storting is located where it is, and the fact that it looks like it does, was never a given. After a handful of hectic weeks at Eidsvoll during the spring of 1814, Norway gets its constitution and the Storting is created. The tasks awaiting this young nation are manifold. A residence for the king must be built, Norway's first university, a new prison. 50 years are to pass before the National Assembly gets its own building. During the passage of these years, the discussion continues about where the building should be sited, about what it should look like. No fewer than 12 different plots are considered, from the Palace Park to Akershus Fortress. After a lengthy debate, the Storting decides to erect the new building next to the palace. But the government doesn't agree. Instead, it purchases a site on Karl Johan. From here, the representatives of the people and the king will face each other. The next tug-of-war centers on the building's design. An architectural competition is arranged. It's won by Wilhelm von Hanno and Heinrich Ernst Schirmer, two renowned architects. Their plan is to erect a neo-Gothic building, replete with arches, towers, and spires. But this proposal comes under heavy fire from both the press and Parliament. It's at this point that an unknown Swedish architect enters the scene, with sketches of something totally new. During his studies in Italy, Emil Victor Langlaire has drawn inspiration from Bernini, the master of Baroque, in particular, his design for the eastern facade of the Louvre. For Langlaire, a building's architecture must reflect its function. His solution is to make the Storting chamber clearly visible to the people, and to mirror this at the rear with a slightly smaller Lagting chamber. The proposal makes waves, and the mood in the Storting inclines towards Langlaire. Finally, on the 18th of May 1860, after 2 select committees and 3 years of debate, the Storting resolves to go for the young Swede's idea. 6 years later, and the Storting can finally move into its own home. Members of Parliament can now meet annually, rather than for a few months every 3rd year, all that was possible before. Architect Langlaire has a further idea: 2 lions to guard and watch over the entrance. The sculptor Christopher Borch is commissioned to design them, and 2 convicts are charged with carving them out of local granite. Løvebakken, the Lion Hill, is born. On the 9th of April 1940, Norway is invaded. That afternoon, German troops take and occupy the Storting. The following day, a swastika flag is raised above the building. It will be 5 years before the Storting convenes again. The need for more space soon becomes apparent after the war. Prime Minister Einar Gerhardsen is one of those who proposes demolishing the entire building and starting again from scratch. Fortunately, the majority in Parliament opposes the idea, preferring instead to add to the existing building. In the end, only the low 2-story structure on Akersgata, home to the National Archives, is knocked down. The architect, Nils Holter, designs a functional 4-story office building, and a comprehensive construction project gets underway. The central chimney is demolished, and the open courtyard is given a glass roof. The demand for more space continues, so in 1972, the Storting buys the building on the opposite side of Wesselsplass. Within the next 30 years, the Parliament acquires the whole quarter, today firmly known as the Storting block. During the 1980s, a service and garage area is built under Eidsvollsplass. Today, the Storting's building space is virtually 3 times the size of the building itself. Even though the Storting is well guarded, it's also an open building. Thousands of visitors are welcome to the Storting every year. Some are here to watch the parliamentary sittings from the public gallery, some to talk to the MPs. Many others are given a glimpse into the life of this glorious building through the numerous guided tours on offer. From the main entrance hall, directly below the Storting chamber, a corridor leads us to the staircase hall, the original location of the courtyard. A majestic flight of stairs takes us up to the central hall. From here, we can access the older parts of the building. The Lagting chamber, which is now mainly used for seminars and courses. The Eidsvoll gallery, the Storting's old reading room. And, of course, the Storting chamber itself. The chamber's ground floor resembles a Greek theatre. It's here that the 169 MPs sit in a semicircle constructed on 7 levels. Everyone faces the president of the Storting, who chairs the sittings from a podium under Oscar Wergeland's famous painting, Eidsvoll 1814. This podium is dismantled and removed once a year, to be replaced by the royal throne. Recruits flank the procession as the king makes his traditional way in through the main entrance, up the stairs, through the central hall and the Eidsvoll gallery, and via the 7th June chamber into the Storting chamber. Here he reads out the speech from the throne, the government's policy statement for the year ahead. And then it's time for the king to leave the Storting once again, and a new session can begin, with committee meetings, debates and votes, just like it's done here ever since 1866.